Welcome on in, everybody, to the Rooted in Progress Stream Center.
Welcome.
It's Thursday. We got the whole team on board. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Terrence said.
Why
no,
we gotta change it up? Hold on, here we go.
Oh, you just want it. There we go. Squad. Oh, you have your hosts, of course, Deanne and Terrence. But y'all, people haven't seen y'all in a minute.
No,
I know.
I think probably since the pre-episode, right?
It's been that long.
Yeah. What was that, 3 months
Get to know
ago?
the team.
No, you were on the episode about
Mental health.
Mental
I was,
health.
yeah.
Yes.
That seemed like a long time ago.
Yeah, that
though.
was a good minute ago. Yeah, welcome Naisha and Kristen.
Hey.
Can we get some sound effects? What's going on, Terrence? You give
There
every
we
other
go.
guest a sound effect.
Y'all are
you
blessed
can't give your own
with
people
our
a sound
presence.
effect. Look at him, he's struggling.
And I don't know what this is, but that's not it.
Come on.
Let's go. We're gonna keep that moving right
This
there,
is
guys. technical
indicative of how the rest of the
difficulties
show is
as
going to go
always.
today,
Not at all.
actually. So you have no sound effects for our people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, welcome. Naisha and Kristen.
I'll make our own.
Hey, we hope you all
Yes.
are enjoying your day. It is Halloween.
I'm the only one that's dressed up. Ain't
You
that crazy?
are. And what are you again? Who are you?
I'm Daphne.
Daphne.
From Scooby-Doo.
Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Shout out to Daphne.
Such a strong supporter. Like Naisha has, she's been responsible for every Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, or every day during the month of October, making sure she takes a picture of
pink for breast cancer awareness.
Now
Yes.
she's all themed up today.
I love a good theme, yo.
Yeah.
Naisha's the one that keeps the lights on in the building and the glow and the vibe, the mood up and all that. So
Kristen and Terrence are going to funerals.
No, listen, I tried.
I have on brown, by the way.
Black is a Halloween color.
that?
I had an MC Hammer costume at home, but I felt like I couldn't complete the look because I couldn't fit the hat over my fro. So I didn't want to incomplete the look.
Got it.
What look you were going for?
Okay.
I have an MC Hammer costume at home, but I was
Okay.
afraid that without the hat, it would just throw things off.
MC
think
Hammer?
you coulda gave it a try.
I don't remember MC Hammer having a hat on.
I was like, maybe glasses.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
glass.
the whole
Like Run
thing
DMC,
It's no. I have the baggy pants. I have the chain,
LL Cool
black
J?
shirt, and glasses. It's MC Hammer.
Oh, okay.
Let's move on.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Well, I wasn't born in that time. So.
Terrence is
Clearly.
Terrence is giving dad
vibes?
vibes.
Well, that's every day. That's every day. My
giving
16-year-old
dad
just got
vibes.
his driver's license today, so
Whoop, whoop.
I am in very much dad
Should we be
mode.
worried?
There we go.
I'm very worried.
We got a new driver on the road.
Count the gray hairs in here in my face today and see how many's in there next week.
Oh,
So,
my
guarantee you
goodness.
It'll multiply.
Well, hey, all of our viewers listening now, I want y'all to shout out the kiddos. If you have any kids, what are they going to be tonight for Halloween? Let us know. We want to see. If you have any pictures you can drop, can you do that in a comment on Facebook?
I don't
Can you
think
drop
you
a
can.
picture? Oh, okay. Well,
They could go on Reported, WFLA Reported.
how are we going to see that?
Y'all are
It's
hilarious.
not a
Guys,
regular
this is-
newscast, girl.
This is what we deal with every day. Every
This
day.
is what we do.
Yeah.
Let's jump in and talk about Halloween. No, seriously, because I feel like it's one of those things where it's different depending on how you are brought up. Either you celebrate it, maybe you don't celebrate it. Yeah, let's jump into it. So how'd y'all grow up with Halloween?
So I grew up in a little small town with very religious parents and grandparents. It wasn't no Halloween.
Period.
Now there was, I take that back. We did go around to the neighbor and the family member's house that lived 1 or 2 streets over and just get candy from that. But it wasn't no dressing up, wasn't any ghosts, wasn't any witches. We didn't celebrate that.
Yeah.
My folks wasn't going.
Yeah, that's similar to me. Like, there was no Halloween. There was no Halloween. There was no watching no Halloween movies. There was no, it was Hallelujah night for me.
I went to Halloween.
Yeah, we was doing trunk or treat at the church. We were doing a lock-in or a sleepover at the church. Like, Kim, my mom was not having that. There was no celebrating ghosts. There was no believing in ghosts.
Everything was a devil.
No devil. There ain't no devil in this house.
Yep.
Like, it was none of that whatsoever. So, like, growing up, I did not, quote unquote, trick or treat until high school.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I never went like door to door, never did any of those things. It didn't matter who asked. Like, it was not happening at all until high school. And I think it was because my mom wanted to make sure everything she had instilled in me spiritually was there and I understood the separation of like, oh, okay, I'm just going out to get candy, not necessarily celebrating what Halloween means. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's kind of how it was for me.
Well, and then to me, it's I think it's pretty dangerous now.
True.
Yeah, because you got folks dressing up in masks and all that stuff, but more so just the crazy people that are out and about.
I'm trying to keep the kiddos safe.
And I my two small kids, we used to take them out during the day. And so by the time the sun set, we were back at the house.
Right.
Even the lights were out. Don't come ringing at my doorbell or anything like that. So it's pretty dangerous today, man.
Naisha, you dressed up. How long you been dressing up?
Ooh, I actually saw a picture on Facebook. I was dressed as, I don't know, like a fairy, a mummy. I couldn't even make out what the costume was.
A fairy or a mummy. Those
I
are
don't
two
know.
drastically
I had to be
different
like
options.
6. I wish I had a picture to show you
So-
because you probably be like, what are you? I can't even tell you. There's no caption on the picture.
So Naisha, do you dress up every year at work? And this is
Absolutely, yes.
so. What are the plans after work today?
I don't have any.
No
I was gonna say
Halloween
that.
parties or
Okay, so I have a party this weekend.
okay Halloween. I know most
Yeah.
people celebrated this past weekend Halloween.
See, I'm that kind of
Festivities.
person that's like, people are like, November 1st, it's Christmas. I'm like, not yet. That's
Yeah.
a little too
Yeah.
early. Christmas is going to get its time. It
Yeah.
will, But I,
So it was okay for you. Like you were able to trick or treat, all of that when you were little. Okay.
Now,
But
you grew up in California, right?
I did. But
Okay.
when I was little, we did do Hallelujah night, so I could wear a costume there, but it couldn't be nothing like gory,
Right.
So that's why I was like, I don't know if I was a mummy or a fairy or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I still don't know when I look at that picture. And that's probably the only one that I had when I was younger.
Huh. You a
We
PK,
did, like, Bob
Kristen?
for-
I am. I would
Apples.
say, like, honestly,
Yeah.
our household wasn't like a big, like, decorate the house and everything. But, and when I would say 4th grade and below, I would go to like the church events that were holding like their little Halloween bashes. But even though my dad's a pastor, he's not if you take the kids out to trick or treat, you're, worshiping the devil. He was actually never like that. I remember like when we started getting 5th grade and stuff like that, my sister and I, he was just like, I think it's totally fine. Take the kids out to for trick or treating. So I dressed up as like, I think one of my costumes I remember was like a midnight princess or something like that.
Oh,
but of
okay.
course, again,
Midnight
we
princess.
weren't.
That's different from the daytime.
Yeah.
Would that be-
I was like, what that look like?
It's not like we were
Would
all
that be
about
Cinderella
like
or one of the stepsisters?
It looked like one of the stepsisters. So again, like
Midnight
we were
princess.
never like one of the like crazy Halloween like celebrators, but it was like never like it wasn't a issue of like, we can't go trick or treating and stuff like that.
But what about now? So like does your dad's church have an event like today?
Oh,
or?
Trunk or treat or
actually,
anything like that?
this weekend I believe we're having like a fall festival type
Fall
event where we'll
festival,
have
yeah.
candy and stuff like that.
Yeah, the fall festivals that's a thing too.
Well, and going back to Naisha saying that she's going to celebrate this weekend, we do know that in the Hispanic community that November 2nd is a celebration, Day of the Dead.
Day of the
So
Dead.
that in
Dia
that
de
culture,
los
they do
Muertos.
celebrate
We hear
Halloween
you.
as festival and festivities and all that stuff. So,
Well, that's not really them celebrating Halloween.
well, it's called the Day of the Dead. So,
But that is, they're actually paying homage to their ancestors. It
Yeah.
actually has nothing
Exactly.
to do
There
with
you go.
Halloween.
Thank you.
There we go. We're gonna
Being politically correct.
yeah,
so
we're
we're
said
going
I'm
to
gonna
move
do it
on
with
from that
facts.
topic.
yeah, let's do that. But I think ultimately, being able for kids to really just go out and have fun and get candy, because I feel
Right.
like that's the goal here.
That's what all the kids care
Yeah.
about. They don't care about Luigi boards or whatever. They're not worried about that. So
Yeah.
they're not trying to unlock the spiritual. They're trying to get candy. You know what I mean?
So you know how they will give out the little buckets,
Yeah.
little pumpkin looking.
Yeah.
My cousin, we will take pillowcases.
Yeah.
It will
One
be a
bucket.
contest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who can fill up the pillowcase
Correct.
first, and then we'll get home. And then my
Yeah.
auntie was very, very particular on like, I need to sort out your candy,
Yeah.
go through
Uh-huh.
it. She would steal some pieces when we weren't looking, like we didn't know. We would count to see who actually had the most. Like it was a little thing in
Yeah,
my
my mom would
in my
only give us
household.
only a few pieces, and after that, she would stash it or throw it
Yeah.
away or whatever. So
Yeah.
I guess
and then you
I
realized
do
your
have
candy your pile was going low because she was sneaking it. Huh?
either that or
The
we would
parents
find,
eat the candy.
They do.
Yeah.
The parents, the TTs, because that's me. That's my role now. Like,
Like,
I'd be
let's see
like,
if it's
yo,
poisonous.
all
I
the
remember that
things.
when I was, when I was old enough to be able to store my own candy, I kept my little stash in my room. and I just snacked away whenever I pleased.
What is
Now-
your room in your parents' house? Do you have a room?
You know what?
You know what I mean? Like parents be like, this is my house. I pay the bills.
No,
This my room.
It's
This my
a
candy.
good thing my parents aren't like huge candy lovers. Like now,
okay,
my
that
dad, he
works
does
out.
like his
Yeah.
chocolate. He loves his Babe Ruths. He loves his Snickers. Anything with like chocolate and peanuts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But wasn't to the extreme to where they felt like they had to get in my stash.
Oh,
They buy their
okay.
own candy.
Okay, but okay. So speaking of, so are we? And if you're listening right now, particularly on Facebook, you can join in on the conversation too. But the candy type. So are we like chocolate folks?
Chocolate.
Or do you want like the candy? Do you want like the sweet candy, or do you want the chocolate?
I want the chocolate, and I feel like that will determine if you're giving out good candy. Like I remember before I left
So,
home.
hold up, let's pause right
No,
there.
no, no,
Hold up, let's pause
before-
right there. What is the good candy? What
She
was
claims the chocolate.
The good candy are your Reese's, your Twix, your
Kit
Kit
Kats.
Kats, your Hershey's. I really love the white chocolates. If you don't have that in your candy bucket, you're doing it wrong. Like,
Kristen,
So
I feel
Almond
like-
Joys, Milky Ways, all that gotta
Not-
go. I say they gotta
you
go.
can keep
Yeah.
the Milky
Number
Way.
one,
No
so-
one is eating like them almond joys that is a kid.
Yeah,
you know, as
no.
an adult, I
She
feel like I like
them
them.
nasty Tootsie Rolls.
Or she like
no,
that candy
I don't eat
corn.
Tootsie Rolls.
I thought you.
Now I like the
No.
flavored Tootsie Rolls.
Heck no,
as
I
long
don't
as
want
you're
no
not
Tootsie
as long
Roll.
as you're not giving out the peppermints and the butterscotch and the
from the candy
the
bucket.
red cinnamon candy that's
Oh my
wrapped up.
gosh,
You know,
yeah.
so that, now those are
I
the
will
ones
say
that get you
there are some
house egg.
good candies that's not chocolate that's still good. Like if you're giving away Sour Patch Kids, that's
that's my
good.
favorite.
That's considered
Oh,
good. If you're
yes.
giving out those little
Twizzlers.
bags of
Smarties.
No. Smarties.
Smarties is straight chalk.
I
You are chewing chalk.
will eat a Smartie down.
We don't want a bunch
Okay.
of dum dums. Dum dums are good to have every once in a while, but
And put,
Terrence, you don't like Smarties?
I do like Smarties.
There we go.
So look, let me tell you
that's
this
the
though.
first
My-
thing
There
you're
we
grabbing out of
go.
the
My
candy
son
bucket. Come on.
he brought a bag of Smartie gummies home the other day.
That's a
and they
thing?
were a game changer. Yes.
Bring it.
Yeah, I
Ew.
know. Right?
Bring it
That
into
sounds-
work.
that
okay, but that's the
sounds
new
gross.
version.
No, that's
Okay,
the new
that's the
version.
new version.
Paula Marie says, "Give me Ferrero Rocher or a Kit Kat." Ferrero Rocher, that's fancy.
Oh, that is
Share.
fancy. They have
Where they
those in
giving out
sets.
at?
I don't know.
Yeah,
What
well,
neighborhood?
Have her drop her address so we can go by there and
That
get.
sounds like South Tampa. Let me roll through.
And then, okay, so y'all are talking about what I just say, Smarties, but what about candy corn?
Candy corn's absolute no for me.
Oh no, man, that's
it's a no for me.
candy
dog.
corn. Are you serious?
If
If somebody gives your kid a
candy
bag
corn.
or a thing of candy corn,
I'm
that means
eating
they're gonna
that
have
bag
to
of candy corn.
they're gonna have to pick it up with their hands and drop it.
Well, correct. You are correct about that. But the candy corn, but then let's take it a step. Let's level up a bit.
Okay.
The pumpkins?
Gosh, man, let me mute her mic.
The pumpkins?
I wish I had
the
these
pumpkin
sound
candy
effects
corn?
here.
Yes.
No, I think you on your own
Like,
island
y'all
with this.
I'm
tripping.
not trying to say I absolutely hate candy corn.
Y'all tripping.
But
Candy
if
corns-
I eat maybe like a few at a time, and they're just not enjoyable for me to actually snack
Candy
on.
corn?
They just
You know one person who got my back?
Your
My
grandma.
mama.
No,
yeah,
it's
it's,
not.
it's
We
clearly in
gonna
your
bust-
bloodline.
I was gonna say
We
your
gonna
grandma.
bust some candy corn and some Smarties down.
No.
You talking about
Candy
giving out
corn's like-
candy corn for Halloween?
No, I wouldn't give it out for
Okay,
Halloween.
I'm gonna say you
No.
about to watch your house and get egg tonight.
Well,
Yeah.
just adjust it. No, I think candy corn is like the chitterlings of
Oh,
candy. I'm sorry.
100%.
Absolutely.
I feel
100%.
disrespected.
No, I don't
It
think
clearly brings up the debate.
I don't think Smarties are nasty. I feel like I enjoyed them more like younger. Maybe like
we
an
tried
elementary.
everything when we were younger.
All right. Yeah, no taste.
So going back to my Halloween stories, I'll never forget my brother. We were at home. We were at my grandparents by ourselves, and it was my brother and my sister and I, and it was pitch black in the country, and Thriller, Michael Jackson Thriller had just came out, and he had talked my sister and I to come in and look at this new Michael Jackson music video. So we were like, okay, cool. So we're thinking there's going to be a lot of dancing and all that, man. And it turned out to be like this werewolf.
movie.
And I was so terrified.
You were afraid of the Thriller?
Oh my
of Thriller?
gosh, it had me. I remember my head was in the pillow, pretty much in the seat cushions of the couch. My
Thriller
sister was
is kind of
screaming.
scary. Yeah.
And so I'm telling my age, but man, that was probably the most memorable, scariest Halloween
That's funny.
that I
Was
ever
watching
experienced.
Thriller.
Just watching Thriller.
Wow.
Now I feel like for our generation, Twitches was that movie that we
Oh, I
waited
love
every year
Twitches.
religiously
Go
for.
Twitches. Go with the Mari
With-
twins. Tia and
Nope.
Tamara Mari.
No.
No, it's like
Did I
one,
not?
two.
Did
One
I
and
not
two.
tell y'all? My mom was not letting me watch no Halloween stuff.
But it's on Disney Channel.
Yeah, there was like a countdown on like Disney Channel, Freeform.
My dad
Whatever
didn't
it
mess
was.
with Harry
It's a
Potter,
no.
but Twitches was okay.
Yeah, she
My
definitely
parents didn't mess with Harry
she
Potter.
didn't play about that Harry Potter. We were not watching Harry
but
Potter.
Twitches was okay.
So you don't have no favorite Halloween movie like at all? Not even right now as an adult. Nothing. Not even an oldie. A Charlie Brown or something.
I will say at the beginning of this month, I've
You're
been
letting me down.
watching all the Saw movies because I saw the latest installment when it hit theaters last year. But I went back to watch all the other Saws because there's like a lot of them.
There is.
So I've been scaring myself at home watching the Saw movies.
I love scary movies though.
Have you seen any of those?
Texas
What I
Chainsaw
will say is,
Massacre, all
I'm
that.
also not a fan of scary
Oh,
movies.
No,
Oh,
I'm not a fan of scary
I don't
movies.
do scary movies.
Oh, I love horror.
I love.
I love horror.
no.
I love.
I don't do
Horror,
the
thriller.
demonic stuff.
I
don't
can't.
do
I can't do
Diary
it.
of Emily
I love all
Rose.
that.
No.
And
None of that
Insidious.
stuff.
I'm right
So let
there
me tell
on premiere
y'all.
night.
Let me tell y'all. So y'all remember Orphan?
Yes.
Okay, so when Orphan came out,
We're not talking Annie, are we?
was that her name? I don't remember.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's old school.
Got
He's
it.
talking
Went
about
over
the
our
actual
heads.
Annie.
So
She was an orphan.
life. That's what he's
Anywho,
talking about.
so when Orphan came out, somehow my mom and my sister, I believe, convinced me to watch it. And I was terrified. Do y'all know I slept in my mama's room for the next 4 months? The next 4, like she would fight with, not literally physically fight. Like she would be like, Dan, you have to go to your room. I slept on the floor for half of those 4 months because she was like, you're not sleeping in my bed anymore. But I was like, I will sleep on the floor so I do not have to bother you.
Now,
I
when did this
slept
show
in my
come out?
mama's-
Did this show come out like 4 or 5 years
Orphan?
ago?
That was a while.
Let's see.
4 or 5 years ago?
No, screw you.
Oh my God.
No. Somebody said The Conjuring. I would
Oh,
never watch
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
watched
about that.
all of them.
Orphan.
All of them. I remember one time, I think this was like senior year of high school, I watched a scary movie that it scared me so bad that right after I went to church. And
Oh my goodness.
I went to church right after. Kristen, what?
Like,
No.
I was like,
Orphan came out in 09.
I don't even know what to say. I have so much thought, so
Holy
many thoughts going
Spirit,
through my head
cover
right
me.
now. You went to church
Was
right
church
after.
open?
Was
I'm
it
confused.
open
It
or did you go by the?
It was.
What movie was it?
No, I think it was one. It might have been The Nun.
Screen?
It
The
might
who?
have been The Nun.
Oh,
when
I don't
that
even know what
when
that
that
is.
Yeah, I don't-
movie first
deal
came
with all
out,
that.
and I went straight to church. It was down the street.
That is so.
So let me
funny.
ask you this: Were you at home by
That's how you
yourself
know
when
you
you
shouldn't
watched
be
it?
watching it.
Right. Were you at
No,
home?
it was. I watched it right when it came out at theaters. I laughed so hard I'm crying. But yeah, I watched it in theaters with my friend, and the reason why church was open was because it was Bible study night, and they were.
So you missed Bible study to watch that heathen behind movie, and then you knew you was wrong. So you said, "Oh, let me go where I was supposed to be,"
Deanne,
which was church.
Deanne, I would love for your mom to be on right now to get her feedback. I know she's listening right now. Please have her comment. And I want to hear what she would
I
told
went to
you.
my dad. He was like, I told you about the movie. That's why I don't mess with him. He's-
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Kristen, please. So what did we learn? Man,
don't miss Bible study
I'm
for
waiting
the
on an
movies.
answer to that question.
Yeah, I don't.
Jeepers Creepers. Y'all know that one?
Yes.
I've heard of it. I've heard of
I
it.
saw
I
that.
don't- I just
like,
don't do
I know that's an
my
OG
dad was
one. That's an OG
military,
one.
Yeah.
so watching movies on base was maybe like $2, and so I went to see that movie like 4 times in a week.
Wow.
But I
It
love
was
going to
great.
the haunted houses. I actually just a few weeks ago went to Universal's Halloween Horror
I
Nights.
haven't been to that yet.
Oh my God, you have to. And I love going to the one in Polk County.
Yeah.
Dang it, I forgot. There's one in Polk County that I love.
There's like it's like a haunted, not maze, but
No, it's a bunch of haunted houses. It's like a
Yeah,
smaller
I went
version
there
of
last
Halloween
year.
Horror Nights. Screamageddon.
Screamageddon, yeah.
Screamageddon is
Busch
actually
Gardens.
scarier. No.
It's not Busch. Busch Gardens does have Scream or Hollow Scream. That's
Yeah,
Busch
it's Hollow
Gardens.
Screams. But
Yeah.
Screamageddon is actually scarier
Really?
than Halloween Horror Nights.
Nope.
Because they
I'm
get
good.
close
Nah.
to you. I
Those
had one
lines
guy
were
corner me
long.
with a chainsaw. It was on.
Let me tell you one thing I'm not gonna do.
you don't do that
Is
either?
pay for somebody to scare me.
Right.
No. Absolutely not.
I think if you go with the right group.
Nope.
Why-
No, no.
But why? Like, I mean,
Why?
now here it is. The one thing I always tell myself is like, this is makeup. This is a costume. This is not real. And then next
It's
thing you
still
know,
scary.
something just pops out of my peripheral.
It's
and
still scary.
And I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to run. I don't know what I'm going to do. Why do I put myself through this stress?
Nope.
I don't have to. I'm
Busch
out.
Gardens, I love you. All them other places, I love you. Polk
Yeah.
County, love you.
I have
Not
a
gonna
memory.
pay to go get scared.
There's this place called Haunted Trail in San Diego in Balboa Park. People probably know what Balboa Park is. I don't know. But I went as a cheer team. And
Okay.
I don't know why all of the girls decided they wanted to link up. And I'm just like, we can't. It's like 16 of us. We can't just all maze going up, down, through school buses. Like, it was a hot mess. But at the end, we thought we all made it. And they're like, Naisha, lead the way. You're not scared. I'm like, no, it's costumes. At the end was a guy with a chainsaw, and he scared the biggest girl on the team who was like, I'm not scared of nothing. And she was mortified in tears because he's standing over her with the chainsaw. And it was the loudest scream I've ever heard. And she...
Yeah, no. Sometimes
He's like, nope, don't ever
I
invite
don't
me
do
on
that.
this ever again.
That stuff, and I think
And I was
that's
laughing 'cause
where,
I thought it was
like,
funny.
I think when you're taught or raised a certain way, it kind of becomes like indoctrinated. So like, I feel like the reason why I don't do scary is because like I wasn't allowed to do scary. So like, I've never been even conditioned to try to like scary movies because the way my mother raised me was like, no, we're not going to watch a movie that's technically, talking about devils and spirits.
Yeah.
And,
no, I couldn't
and
watch
all of
those
those
either. But for
things.
some reason, I grew up to love them.
And
Even
also
though I
I
wasn't
had a
able to
thing.
watch them.
I had a thing of clowns. Like I didn't like clowns. Even to this day, I do not like clowns. I mean, I remember
Do you
watching.
get a little scared?
Where does that stem from? Like,
I
there's
don't-
a lot
I
of
don't
people
trust
scared of
clowns.
clowns.
Look, so I watched the movie It, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't make it past probably the first 10 minutes. Nope. I'm not doing it.
I watched the second one too.
Aside from Orphan, the scariest thing I have watched, Dahmer.
Okay.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer?
Ooh, now, see, that's a different type of scare.
Like that to me is my like scare level.
That's your line?
That's realistic.
Dahmer. I did really good
Yeah.
to watch Dahmer.
Yeah.
But isn't that like a psychological thriller or something like that?
And that's all I can take. That's about it. All that gory and devil. Nope. I rebuke it. I rebuke it in the
Well,
name.
and I'll tell you again, like I
Bible
said,
study.
that when you get into like the Dahmers and the serial killers, like I'm like Deanne, that's the scary stuff, the scary movies, the
Yeah.
scary stuff, because that's real. You don't know who you're sitting with in the same area that could be a Jeffrey Dahmer or some type of serial killer. No,
But I think the Dahmer is. This is probably really bad to say. This is a safe space. Y'all know Rooted in
Do I need
Progress
to
is
mute
a
you?
safe space.
do I need to mute you?
I feel like I can take a Dahmer because, like you mentioned, like Dahmer is real life, and Dahmer is like what would be in the newscast. It's just the visual representation of what he did. But the contents of Dahmer was in the newscast.
And the scary
so
part
I
about
could
it,
take that.
the scary part
You know
about
what I mean?
Dahmer could be your neighbor. You know, Dahmer could be your coworker. You know, so.
Okay, now you starting to creep me out. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
No, that's
It's
All right.
Halloween. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, folks.
Enough. Now, Terrence, you mentioned Thriller, so we were talking about this all morning.
Yeah.
Any folks listening or watching, if you watched our morning show, we did a story about the songs. So, like the top Halloween songs.
Yeah.
And Thriller,
Oh, absolutely.
guess what number though?
It better be one.
Nope.
Are you serious?
25.
20. What was number one?
Who did the
I
survey?
feel like Lil Wayne. What was
the
number
age?
one?
Number one was Monster Mash.
Stop it.
Monster Mash, don't.
Number two is Ghostbusters, which I had just heard for the first time today.
Whoa, what?
Judger. Mm-hmm.
Monster by Eminem and Rihanna is number 5.
Stop it.
That's not a Halloween. Okay.
And Thriller is number 25.
25.
We got to figure out who made that
Who is
list.
the
That's what I
demographic?
said.
Yeah.
When we
thinking
did
about?
it, I was like, who did
Yeah.
they
What's the source?
survey?
Who the source?
Yeah.
Don't know. I'm like, who did they survey? Because Thriller, not only is it iconic, but like it had Terrence shaking in his
Man,
boots.
it's an actual movie
Yeah.
music video. So
Yeah, you can't
And people are
not
still
think
trying
of
to
Halloween
replicate
and
it
not
today. So
Think of Thriller.
yeah.
Yeah.
And do you
believe
think
that.
it's
That's a
out of
terrible
touch
survey.
with generational thing?
man,
'Cause
and Monster Mash is not. I mean, Monster Mash came out in the 50s.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know, but maybe a Monster Mash is more glorified mainstream now. So maybe like you hear Monster Mash more
You
than we hear
absolutely
Thriller
don't. You
now.
absolutely don't.
Where?
You do. I do
mean,
not
when
hear
you
Thriller
Monster
is
You know,
in black
So-
hole.
Been
So
in the
here's the thing.
Party
Here's what I
City.
think. I think Thriller is up there with Fresh Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince
Okay.
Summertime. Every summer, you're going to, if you're thumbing through the radio stations, you're going to hear Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, as well as you would think that Thriller would be one of those
That's what I think of.
iconic, songs that every Halloween you're going to hear Thriller
Yeah.
on some
It
radio
had to be a
station.
generational thing because
Yeah.
who Monster by Rihanna and Eminem was on the list.
Yeah, I was like, what
It
is-
was
what's
at
that
number
song? I had to
5.
go play it on Spotify. I was
So
like, I
that
have
tell you
heard
the
that,
age
but-
difference
But
right
that's
there.
not
Who
even-
would
Yeah.
make that list?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Damn, I'm gonna
I
have to pull
agree.
that up. I
Go
wish I could play
ahead.
it. I wish
But
I
it's-
could.
Oh, you don't know
play
the
it
song?
right.
You
I'm
have to.
friends
do.
with
I
the
think I do.
monsters
Yeah,
up
but
under
that's-
my bed.
That's not a Halloween.
It's not Halloween. They just mentioned it.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a
yeah.
terrible-
it's a
Talking
good
about like a
song. It's a good
relationship?
song,
That
but
was a
it's
terrible
not.
survey.
I don't-
When you call it Monster, it has to be. Because Thriller is like Halloween's All I Want for Christmas Is You. That's how,
That's-
like, it's,
okay.
it's
Okay,
up there.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you
That's a
hear that
good-
every Halloween. Like, there's
Yeah.
no...
Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
that's why when I heard the list, I'm like, who
I need
was
the source.
making it?
I
It
know.
couldn't have
Y'all
been-
are right.
couldn't
And
have
how many
been-
people were ranked in this?
no telling.
Naisha
Or surveyed.
Kristen,
No telling.
Your producers wrote
I'm
that
about to say
story.
y'all the producers who put it in the
Yeah,
show.
y'all
Not
you
them
producers-
specifically.
You
but
producers
they're
want to put it in.
coworkers.
So.
Not me. My show's in 4
I wouldn't have
hours.
aired that.
That story's
It
not
better not be
making
in
it.
that 7 when I see it.
If it is, I'm gonna be talking about how Thriller is not number one. That's the conversation.
That's right. Start
Well,
the story
hey,
with that.
all of y'all out there, if you have kids, nieces, nephews, cousins, and all of them, y'all have fun tonight.
Be safe.
Yeah, make sure y'all are
Yeah.
being safe. We had a Sheriff Chad Chronister come on, and they're gonna they've been doing their sex offender checks. They have also gonna have deputies all throughout the county, Hillsborough County, that is, which I'm sure is gonna be reflected across all of our counties. Just making sure the kids are safe. You had a good idea, parents or even the kids, making sure they have flashlights, and utilizing flashlights even on your phones, or even like some kind of reflective gear.
Right.
Just to make sure you're safe. And drivers,
And be
Please
careful.
watch
all
out.
don't be stupid.
that part.
Don't be stupid.
Because the kids, they will be running across the street,
Yes.
trying
Drive
to get to,
slow.
Ooh, I see that house. Just be
Yeah.
careful and be
Yeah.
and be careful around the debris because there are a lot of
Correct.
streets
There's-
still covered
Yep.
with debris.
And if you are out trick or treating, if your kid's out trick or treating, you pull up to a house that says take one, do not take the whole bowl. Do not take the whole bowl.
Well, and that's another question. Are you guys one of those where you would hand it out yourself or just set the bowl out and let the kids just
I go with my nieces now, so I have a bowl outside of my house.
You do?
But I
I
just
feel
know
like
it's
it'll
gone in
last
10
long.
minutes. No. Let me tell you. I will troll my house.
Yeah.
So if you come to my house, I have a camera and I watch. So because
you
I
yelling
get
at the kids
notifications.
through the
What are you gonna do?
I will. I see you taking 4 pieces of candy. It's the neighborhood. I will hop in that neighborhood group chat so fast.
I will say
Excuse
taking
me.
4 pieces is okay, but if you take the whole bowl, you're a gremlin.
No,
Period.
take the whole bowl. That way, that's less candy that's coming back inside my house.
I know what type
So
of kid
take,
you were.
take all of it. I don't care.
and turn your porch light off, huh?
Yes,
Halloween's
turn one-
done.
Yes, that's a wrap.
Y'all go out there, have fun, be safe. I know a lot of folks listening in trying to also hear about HBCUs.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, and I was trying to figure out, y'all, like, did anybody at our station go to an HBCU? And I could
man, that was
only
supposed to
think
be
of
our
one.
secret.
Joseph Brown, our
Shout out to him.
photographer.
Shout out.
He went to FAM.
Pew, 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 pew.
We have that, but Terrence is terrible today.
No, I'm on it
Jesus.
today.
Oh
I'm on
my
it today.
gosh.
You got to understand, there's like 6 other shows that come in after we do, and these layouts, all this computer and stuff,
Yeah,
the layout
sounds
is
like
different.
excuses.
So
But there we go.
There we go.
Shout out
Is
to
that
Joseph
what you
Brown.
want?
He went to
give it
FAMU.
again.
He's one of our photographers. And speaking of FAMU, they have homecoming this weekend. So I know things have started literally today and all week for homecoming. Homecoming is so big, especially at HBCUs. Have any of y'all ever been to
Yeah.
a homecoming
Yeah.
at
I
have
HBCU?
not.
Y'all haven't.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I
Terrence,
know
where have
Oh,
you
you
gone?
haven't? I've gone to Tennessee. I moved here from Nashville, so I'm.
You
used
went to
do-
TSU.
Used to go to TSU every year, which was probably one of the top homecoming festivities throughout the country. So
Yeah.
Are they the Prairies? What's their mascot?
no, they're the Tigers.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Oh.
think they're Tigers.
Oh.
Howard homecoming is a big one.
Yeah, I've gone to. My goodness, I've gone to FAM's homecoming. I'm from Tallahassee, so I grew up going to homecoming like every year. I've gone to FAM's. I've gone to Cookman. My sister went to Bethune-Cookman. So I've gone there. I've gone to Howard. I've gone to Spelman. I've gone to,
A lot.
I've gone to a lot.
Yeah.
Period. And it's just so much fun because it's
Yeah.
like, you know how remember the cookout episode we did,
Oh, yeah.
and like how cookouts are such a staple in like a Black family's life. That is the same thing with homecoming. Homecoming is a staple.
Yes.
Particularly for HBCUs. That's when the alums come, the band is out there going ham.
Parade.
The parade.
The parade was that. You got up early in the morning, go hang out and watch the parade for a few hours.
Yep.
From the day parties and make your way to the game, and then you just
Yep.
stayed at halftime because you wanted to watch the band perform at halftime.
Yep. The halftime
After that
performance.
stadium empties out. It makes out for a long weekend.
We gotta get y'all to go to a
I
homecoming.
know, because I really
Yeah.
want to hear that band.
Yeah.
I was a band little student back in grade school. I didn't do it in college because I didn't want to be in the hot sun in that suit. But that's what I really want to hear, and that's what
Yeah.
a lot of people come for. The band. It's just not the same. I went to Go Knights, Charge On. I love y'all, but the band is not. You can't compare it. You can't.
You sure
She said it's
can.
not it.
Let me tell y'all something. USF, I love y'all so much.
Uh-oh.
USF played Cookman this year. They played FAMU last year.
Yeah.
And at neither game did they have the band. Cookman's band wasn't there. FAM's
Yeah.
band wasn't there.
I was at that game last year.
I was
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah, I was at that
That's
FAMU
probably
game
what
last
people
year.
was trying to come for,
And it
that-
is.
that was a
It is.
letdown.
Correct.
It is.
Like anybody who came and they're like, where's the band?
Right.
Not here.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the why. I have not asked.
That sounds
Questions
like
that need
but
answers.
that sounds like an 8 on your side investigation. Where was the band?
All right, so I have some trivia for y'all. Whoever wins,
I ain't got it.
Uh-oh.
Whoever
We were
wins
not prepared for this.
is going to get some candy. I have candy in my AKA cup.
Is it Smarties?
Skiwi Sor Wars.
Is it candy
Skiwi.
corn? I don't want it. I'll get every answer wrong.
And if I'm looking at the comments, so if you know the answer, you can drop it in the comments. All right, don't be cheating over here.
And you
Girl.
will get candy corn
You will get. I wish I had candy corn right now.
as your
Okay,
prize.
what is the oldest, the original, the first HBCU in the country? You better not be Googling over there.
Is it
Talking
Morehouse?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Give me my sound effects.
We'll see. I'm going to go through these.
Oldest HBCU. Is it Howard?
There we go. No, not Howard. Terrence, you got one?
Yes. I would say North Carolina A&T.
Absolutely not. You all are wrong. It is Cheney University of Pennsylvania.
Oh, I wouldn't
That
have
was
gotten
gonna be-
1937.
That was going to be my second guess.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
What's the name of the school?
Cheney University,
University.
Wow.
of Pennsylvania. Don't
That's
be
a
looking
nice
over
little
here.
fun
I
fact.
can't see that. I didn't
That
have
is a fun
glasses on.
fact. Okay, next up. How many HBCUs are in Florida?
2.
Nope.
I was going to say 3.
Nope.
Really?
There's more than that?
I guess I should go up.
We talking today's times, right?
We are talking about today,
Okay.
October 30th, 31st. Praise
Well,
the Lord.
is it up or down?
2024.
Is it up or down?
Kristen, you don't have anything?
Is it because I could either go either way? is
Wow.
You're Googling.
Are you
you're
Googling?
Well, I've already
cheating.
gave my answer. I can't answer anymore.
is it
Okay,
4?
do we have anyone?
Is it 4?
You don't know. The answer is 4.
Yes, I got it.
Well, I answered 2.
She said pass it on
I
candy.
said 2. She said 3. So the next number is.
You shouldn't
Okay,
have guessed first.
but now let's test it. What are those
Yeah.
4?
Okay,
Can I answer that?
Go. No, because you're cheating. Go ahead.
teacher, can I get half a point?
No. Maybe. Come on.
What are the schools?
can't.
What are the 4 HBCUs here in Florida?
Well, there's the Rattlers,
The
Rattler. Girl, what
Hey,
is
man,
the
let's
name of
move
that
on, eh?
campus?
FAMU, FAMU, FAMU.
This can't be rooted
Okay,
in progress.
FAMU.
We got a lot of
Bethune.
progress.
Yeah, we got a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
To
2.
root.
Come on. Naisha, you looking? You ain't got nothing?
No, those are the only 2 I knew. The other 2 they got to be in like Miami or something.
Okay, so the 4 HBCUs in the state of Florida.
They must be small schools.
FAMU, Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. We have Bethune-Cookman University. We also have FLOMO, Florida Memorial University,
my-
down in South Florida in the Miami area. And then we also have Edward Waters
Wow.
Out of Jacksonville.
out of Jacksonville. USF just played them last night. We beat them.
Wow.
We scrubbed the ground on them, honestly.
Now that's not rooted.
You not knowing them is not rooted.
Hey, I got the first part of the question right.
I've never heard of the last 2.
Edward
Neither have I.
Waters? Wow.
I've never heard of
So
Edward Waters.
This is why, like, I
This
also
is why
think,
we're rooted. We're here.
You didn't know because you Googled.
That's why I said I didn't know either.
So I actually went on a college tour when I was in high school, particularly for HBCUs in Florida. So I went to FAMU, I went to Cookman, I went to Edward Waters, which is this big. It is the size. This sounds really bad, but it's literally like the size of this weather office. And then FLOMO down in South Florida. And I think that's why, like, when we're having these conversations about HBCUs, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, why do we not know this?
Yeah.
How do you live here and not know this? Not
Right.
not a dig on y'all, but I think that's the overall problem that we have. No one's teaching this. Like, nobody is teaching this. You grew up in Florida and
No,
you
you're
have
born
no
and raised.
idea. You have no clue
Yeah.
what the 4 were. And it's so sad to see because it's like those were schools that we were only allowed to go to back in the
Oh,
day.
yeah. Well, like I was telling you guys in our last meeting, back in like middle school and high school, when they would really try to pitch the idea of going to college, and they would put like different colleges around like the school and the name of them, you didn't really see
Yeah.
a bunch of HBCUs. So, and I think that's part of the reason why, like, it wasn't
Yeah.
really, they didn't focus on that.
I had a few friends that went to Tennessee State University right out of high school, and and I'm gonna be honest with you, it never interested me. I never had anyone that was kind of in my corner saying, "Hey, check out HBCUs." Didn't really know a whole lot about it. Growing up in a predominantly white school, that wasn't one of those posters or the little pamphlets that you would get. They didn't have those in the guidance counselor's office. So I did
Yeah.
have 1 or 2 friends that graduated with me and went to TSU, but it never gained my interest. So and having teenagers now, I do have a daughter in college right now, and she's not at a HBCU, but I really tried to push her to go to an HBCU. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the people that I hear talk a lot about HBCUs and who go to HBCUs, they have family members
Yeah.
who went to
Yeah.
HBCUs.
Yeah.
So their family lineage is like rooted in that.
Right. Yeah.
And being from California, I don't even think we have a HBCU in the state.
San Diego,
so
there is a HBCU.
Yeah. There's
It
an
might-
HBCU.
There's like 2 or 3 in California.
Yeah, you
and that goes to
Google
show.
it.
I don't know. Like,
right.
I was pushed to go to like the UCs, the CSUs for college.
Because that's what makes you successful. To go to the established, the Ivy Leagues, the
USC,
PW,
UCLA,
Yep.
SCSU. Like, and I was
that makes you more successful. And I'm a get real here. Black folks will look down on HBCUs. Like, oh, I'm not going there because theoretically they feel like the level of success is to go to the University of Florida. That's success, but FAMU's not.
Yeah.
No.
Because that's what
I
that's
can't go
what
to
we're taught.
FAMU.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there. And I think I will honestly say, even though I grew up with the knowledge of HBCUs, my grandfather, my pop, he went to Howard.
Wow.
My sister was literally like in college at Cookman. I would go to my sister every summer. I learned so much about HBCUs in my upbringing. When I thought about what college I would go to, I myself am I'm guilty because I was like, nah, I ain't about to deal with them. I ain't about to deal with them financial aid problems. I'm not about to deal with all of the problems that come within HBCU. And it's honestly something that like I look back on and wish I would have rethought that. Because what HBCUs can do for us and for the culture and for your education, like it is incredible. Like my friends who went to HBCUs, how close they still are with their friends and their professors and the stories that they have. And histories like traditions like homecoming. Ask me when the last time I went to a USF homecoming.
When was the last
When was
time?
the last time?
Barely even in college.
Right,
I think I went to one homecoming in college.
I went to 0 at
So
UCF.
I went to UT
Yeah.
Chattanooga, and we just had our homecoming this past weekend. Last time I went to a homecoming was probably 12, 15 years ago, maybe. And I did get a couple messages like, "Oh man, you want a homecoming? How come you didn't come to homecoming?" It's like, it slipped my mind. It slipped my radar. So, but going back to Naisha about your question about are there any HBCUs in California? There is one. It is called Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science out of Los Angeles.
Wow.
So just one in the state of California.
Like that big too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like when you look at HBCUs, the lack of resources that are poured or not poured into those universities. Remember, we had the Olympian on, and she went to Cookman, and she decided to leave because she felt like she wasn't getting everything that she needed at that university because they didn't have the money for it. Like she went to a 4-year. Where did she end up going?
Wasn't it?
She like the equivalent of like a Tennessee university, like Tennessee, right?
Tennessee State.
She went. No, she didn't go to Tennessee State.
Oh,
She went to like the
University of
equivalent,
Tennessee.
the equivalent of like a Tennessee, right? And she was like, "Oh my gosh, there are trainers. Like, oh my gosh, y'all could do treatment. Like, those are like bare minimum things
For an athlete,
that an HBCU did not have." And you look at efforts. When you look at funding, I know Governor DeSantis put about $10 million toward the state budget for HBCUs in the most recent budget. I know President Biden passed some things and passed some funding to go toward HBCUs, but it's like we need more.
Yeah.
Right.
A quick little fun fact here. Can you guys, trivia, can you guys guess which state has the most HBCUs in it?
Oh, I'm going to say Georgia. It's either going to be Georgia, Alabama, or Texas.
You got to give me one
What's
answer,
mine?
man.
It's
I'm
one
going,
of those.
I'm going with Texas.
You going
I'm
with
gonna say
Texas?
Texas.
That's my answer.
Deanne, give me a final answer.
It's one of those. I'm confident.
All right,
I'm confident it's one of those.
She's disqualified. All right,
Alabama.
So Alabama has 11 HBCUs.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Alabama has 15 HBCUs. Texas has 10. Georgia has 10. North Carolina has 11.
Okay, not surprised by
y'all.
North Carolina. Not surprised by North Carolina.
So Alabama was the
Alabama
correct
has
answer,
15.
right?
Yeah. But you got to understand back, in those, how that come about was, those are slave states. And those are the states that we were, of course, for years we were denied education. So
They had to create a space.
They had to
So I
create
think
a
that's
space.
beautiful that
Absolutely.
they have the most.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't even know that. I was thinking I wouldn't have thought Alabama.
There
All
are
I know
so
is
many.
A&M. I know A&M. I know Alabama State.
There are
let's see,
so many
hold on.
HBCUs
Hold
in
on
Alabama.
here.
It's
So-
to the point where like I know them right now, but I can't even think. There are so many. You just said there were 15, but yeah, there are a lot of.
Yeah.
And that just kind of like, it puts in my mind that if some of the big, well-known HBCUs struggle with funding, then those little itty-bitty Edward Waters ain't getting nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
That
Zilch.
college of medicine.
Yeah. And so then when you're looking at one conversation, Deion Sanders actually had this conversation, and he was talking about even athletes from a level of like the standpoint of athletes. You look at
And the care of,
you look at football teams, you look at basketball teams, and a lot of those teams are filled with African American men.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of African American men go where? The goal is Alabama. The goal is UF. The goal is FSU. The goal isn't FAMU. The goal isn't Tennessee State. The goal isn't Howard or TSU. Like it
But
why?
I don't blame them.
It's an easier path to the next step of their
Right.
career, which is the
Those big
NFL.
ones.
And
Yeah.
that's
NBA.
another problem within
Yes,
itself. Why
exactly.
are these NFL coaches not looking at HBCUs?
Yeah, and one of
The
and if you
recruiters.
look at some of the greatest NFL players to ever play the game, Jerry Rice, Sterling, not Sterling Sharp, but Shannon Sharp. Those guys went to HBCUs.
Yeah.
Michael Strahan. I mean, these
Where
are
did he go?
NFL. Don't quote me on it. But
Okay, I'm
he
about to
did.
look.
Those guys are NFL Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
You know, these are the names that you hear. These are household names. So, but going back to Deanne's point is that even today, 2024, you barely have these guys getting drafted out of HBCUs.
He went to Texas Southern.
Yeah, he went to Texas Southern. You barely got recruiters and these NFL coaches taking a look at these guys coming out of these HBCUs.
Because the recruiters, they're just going to keep going to the schools that they know, you know, big money's coming out of these schools.
Yeah.
So
USC's,
if you're a recruiter and you only have X amount of time to find some top hitting players, you're going to place your bets on where you've always placed your bets. Okay. You know what I mean?
disagree with you.
I'm not justifying it. I'm saying like if I was in their shoes and I need to recruit, I'm going to go with what's giving me the best boys coming out of them schools.
I disagree
I'm just kind
with
of
that.
putting my feet.
And the
But
reason
the
why I say
problem is
that
I don't think the best is always at
the
PWI.
big schools.
No, absolutely not. I'm just, if I was in their shoes, I'm just thinking about what they could possibly be thinking. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's, you know, it's a flawed system.
Yeah.
It's a flawed.
Yeah, it is. I do think it is flawed. And I think that that's why making sure different types of people are in rooms and in spaces to advocate for things like this is what eventually leads us to change. It leads us to progress, because if you don't have someone in the room advocating for the HBCU, it's never going to be on anyone's mind. Like, it's a conversation. Let's get real here.
Yeah.
Let's get real. Okay. We just said we have one person with a staff of 200 something people here in the news side that went to an HBCU. Who's having conversations about HBCU in our newscast? If nobody went, if nobody was educated, if we don't bring these conversations and these topics up and we aren't in those spaces, it'll never happen. Which is why we're so blessed to have this platform, and we're here, right, to make sure there's that representation. But imagine the rooms and the spaces that don't.
Well, and you got to understand, and we all understand this, but I'm add this to it, is that we're surrounded by so many HBCU alumni, even may not be in this building, but you go to any event, you're going to run across someone who what they call the Rattlers, or, you know, probably sit next to them in church. Just the HBCU's alumni and supporters. Why aren't our kids visiting and taking tours and enrolling with these HBCUs? Now there's an item of, there's a list of things that we can go down. We don't have time as to why some choose to go and some choose not to go. But I'm really encouraging my son to look at HBCUs. He wants to play basketball at the next level. And of course, he's wanting to go to the Dukes and the Kentuckys and all that. And I'm being real with him. I know he's not listening because he's in school right now. You don't have the work ethic to get to the Dukes but one thing I can say is, man, listen, really not the work ethic, but more so
the talent.
He's a good player, but he still can play at the next level. I just want him to really look into an HBCU, son, not just mainly for the athleticism, but the academics and the culture.
I like this, but so let's take it a step further. Why? And you're saying that. Hold on. Let me finish. If he doesn't have the talent to go to a Duke, but you think he has the talent to go to an HBCU, you're lowering the talent that he has, right? So why is an HBCU sufficient for someone that's less than
I get
a
what you're
Duke?
saying. Yep. I'm more so academics. I'm more so culture. I'm more so that. He could tear his knee up tomorrow in practice and be done with basketball. I'm more so all about his academics, the culture, man, the family. We just saw this, for those that are watching on our other platforms. We just ran a video of HBCU homecomings and just the fun and the classrooms and all that. I have friends that graduated from HBCUs that, like we said today, are still close to this day. You go back to this homecoming, it's a vibe. I want him to experience that, because in college is where you make your lifelong friends and family.
Yeah.
I never experienced it. I wanted to experience it, and I want him to do that as well. Again, like I said, I tried to talk my daughter into taking a visit and enrolling into that, HBCUs, and she chose to go elsewhere. But not to downplay that by no means whatsoever. But
I think we also have to make sure we're highlighting the excellence and success rate coming out of HBCUs.
Yes,
Because I think
that's,
I feel like that's one of the reasons why even, Black students, we may look at it and be like, well, if I want to really excel and, get a good job, get a good career, we're going to think about the schools that we hear have a, good
Your vice
academics
president
and
of the
everything.
United States currently, she went to an HBCU.
So, and I think, yes, we love the culture and the vibe of HBCUs, but we got to make the conversation bigger than that. Because even growing up, when you hear about HBCUs, you're thinking about the band, the vibe, the culture. Well, respectfully, that's not all we're going to college for. So we got to start highlighting the academics, that there you can excel in HBCUs and get a good degree and get the same career as anyone else from the
sororities,
PWIs.
the fraternities. I got my gear here. I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and you join these sisterhoods, these fraternities, these brotherhoods they literally instill excellence in you. As far as from academics to being involved in the community. And while yes, I did pledge at a PWI, right, but I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't founded at an HBCU.
Right.
So we have to look at the history of excellence that HBCUs do bring, particularly to students. We got a vice president who went to one. Will Packer, half the movies y'all watching right now it was created by a man who went to FAMU.
Ketanji Brown.
Yeah, she went
First
to an
African
HBCU.
American
You're right.
woman Supreme Court
Yeah,
justice.
so we could spend all day naming famous people who
So
went
we got
to
to make sure we're highlighting them to say, hey, you go to a HBCU, you could be on the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
That's true.
You could be the next president.
And schools such as FAMU has one of the top pharmaceutical programs in the country. Schools like Tennessee State University has one of the top nursing programs in the country.
FAMU has an incredible law school program.
FAMU has an incredible law school program. So when you're thinking about going into those career fields, think HBCU first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our progress plug for this episode, y'all. Make sure we continue educating the next generation, exposing the next generation to HBCUs, because eventually what's going to happen, right, is that student who went to the HBCU, they're going to be the head coach at Duke, and they're going to transform what Duke looks like and what Duke basketball looks like, or they're going to be the next head coach of Alabama football, and they're going to transform what Alabama football and where they pull their athletes from to come to Tuscaloosa to play. And so if we can instill that into our next generation, man, oh man, we won't be talking about the lack of funding for HBCUs.
Right.
Or not knowing them.
Correct. Or not knowing them. Hopefully y'all were able to learn something this episode too.
Yeah,
We
that was
did,
fun,
yeah,
guys.
I did. I got educated.
Edward Waters, shout out to you.
All right,
15
y'all.
Where's my
HBCUs
candy?
in Alabama, man.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, who
what's up.
won?
I did. I
She
got
said
that
4.
answer right.
None of y'all
No,
won.
I got
She said
the
4.
right answer.
She just couldn't
Hey,
name them.
we're all winners. How about that?
We'll give you some. We'll pass. I'm passing the cup.
Pass the
Y'all,
cup.
Thank
okay,
you.
Pass the cup.
1908.
And
Y'all
they're-
heard me
and
say
they're
4.
They're getting some candy. Hey, thanks for joining us, y'all. Rooted in Progress. We are
Yes.
here every Thursday, 11 o'clock in the morning. Make sure y'all come and hang out with your folks. All right. We love to have a good time on here. Yes, we're gonna laugh. Yes, we're gonna have some fun, but we're also gonna get to the culture and get to the progress. Thursdays, 11 a.m. We are live on the WFLA Facebook page and the WFLA app. Make sure y'all hit that follow, the notification button as well for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Hey, listen, man, we love y'all. Thanks for hanging with us and joining the full team.
Yes.
Wow,
everybody.
Terrence. I'm so
Just-
happy to have them.
There we go. Yeah, we go. We'll bring them
So
back up
happy
one
to have
last
them.
time.
Look, there you go.
Guys, stay rooted, please.
Stay rooted.